You know, we often think that Google's entire AI is that little summary box that pops up when you search for something. But that little box, it's really just the front door. The sources you sent over confirm something pretty surprising, which is that most of us are only using the least powerful parts of what's available. Underneath that search bar, there's this whole free toolkit for, well, automation, for content creation, deep analysis. So the question is, if you could replace half the software you're paying for right now with hidden Google tools, would you be willing to look?
That's exactly the mission for today's deep dive. We've got this incredible guide to over 30 of Google's free AI tools, and we're here to give you the shortcut. And we're going way beyond just the standard chatbot. Our goal is to give you a clear map across 4 different layers of these free tools. We're talking about building no-code mini apps in Canvas, then advanced tools in AI Studio, a look at the experimental stuff in Google Labs, and finally, really unlocking the hidden powers inside the Gemini chat you already use. So yeah, let's start replacing some of those clunky, expensive workflows.
Okay, let's start with that first layer, Gemini Canvas. This seems to completely change what we think a chatbot can even do.
It absolutely does. When we say mini app, we're not just asking the AI to spit out a little bit of code. No, these are functional tools. They have real user interfaces, input fields, buttons. You can even upload images.
And the key is that they're instantly shareable.
Instantly.
The power here really seems to come from how it handles vague prompts. The source material used this example of a YouTube title and thumbnail generator. You just start with something really rough, like create an app to explode YouTube titles.
Yeah, and Canvas handles that vagueness remarkably well. In about, 10 or 15 seconds, you have a working interface. There's an input box, a button to generate titles, an upload area for an image. It turns your idea into a working blueprint almost immediately.
But does it really handle natural language for iterating on it? I mean, can I have that first version and then just say add an editing box so I can change my expression to surprised without code?
Yes, instantly. You just keep refining the app with plain English prompts, and that interface updates right in front of you. You're essentially automating these repetitive weekly tasks like, say, expense reports or product mockups without needing a single coding step.
So how does building these custom shareable interfaces really change the user experience compared to just, endlessly copy-pasting in a standard chat?
Well, the interface gives you that visual feedback. It elevates a simple chat into a unified professional workflow. And then when Canvas starts to feel a little too simple, the natural next step is AI Studio. This is where you get really granular control. Yeah, I'll admit, I still wrestle with prompt drift myself sometimes.
Oh, yeah, where the AI just kind of forgets what you asked it to do 5 messages ago.
Exactly. So I really appreciate having those technical controls in Studio to kind of lock things down.
When you first open AI Studio, the sources say it can look pretty intimidating, lots of technical terms. But you're saying it's still approachable for someone who's not a developer.
It is, yeah, if you just focus on the building blocks, the real unlock here is the integrated capabilities. AI Studio lets your app pull in these other specialized Google models directly.
Oh, interesting.
So you can integrate tools like Nano Banana, which is for image editing, or VO, which animates images. You can even pull in live data from Google Search and Maps. It's like stacking these powerful Lego blocks of function.
So what are some of the advanced features that make that complexity really worth it?
Oh, definitely the visual annotation tools.
Yeah.
You can literally drag a box onto an image, circle an area, and just prompt change these colors instead of trying to describe it with text. Plus, you can adjust the temperature.
Okay, temperature. That's one of those AI jargon terms. What does that actually control?
Think of it like a creativity dial. High temperature means more risk-taking, more creative outputs. A low temperature gives you really reliable, logical, consistent results. You get to fine-tune it.
The example from the source of the children's coloring book generator really showcased that. It took the theme space dinosaurs and a color palette and just produced a downloadable PDF with clean, usable line art.
Right, and the real power was using those annotation tools to refine it in real time. You could just circle one of the dinosaurs and say, make this one look friendlier. It's so responsive.
Beyond just content generation, what kind of really complex applications are we talking about here?
You could build data visualization dashboards, fully interactive games, or really sophisticated multi-step content tools.
Okay, so if we move on from building our own tools, we get to Google Labs. This is sort of the proving ground, right? At labs.google.com, are these tools actually functional, even if they're labeled experimental?
Oh, absolutely. They solve real problems right now. Take Pomeli, for instance. It's for marketing campaigns, and it's a huge time saver. The workflow is so simple. You just give it your website URL.
And the AI scans the site and generates what it calls the brand DNA. What does that mean in practice?
It figures out your core values, your tone of voice, even suggests fonts and colors. Then it spits out campaign ideas and generates 5 or 10 social media posts that actually match your brand's aesthetic.
That's a huge head start on a new campaign, saves days of brainstorming. Then there's Opal, which is more for visual thinkers. It doesn't even use text prompts.
Right, Opal uses what it calls visual nodes. Think of it like building a flow chart for your workflow, kind of like the toolmake.com, but for creating things with AI.
Yes.
You just drag and connect nodes like Research AI News, which connects to generate images, which connects to generate web page.
So it provides a kind of visual logic. You can just adjust the whole process by dragging the connections around.
Exactly.
So how should someone who's trying to be pragmatic approach these tools in labs? Can you trust them for professional work?
I'd say use them as powerful starting points for complex tasks. They're often highly functional solutions to real problems right now. All right, now let's get into the standard Gemini chatbot itself. Most people, I think, barely scratch the surface of this interface. They're missing all the hidden superpowers.
We have to talk about the video analysis. That just sounds like an incredible technical feat.
It really is. You can drag and drop a video file right into the chat, and Gemini can analyze it. The big use case here is reverse engineering. You can literally ask the AI, watch this video, now give me a text-to-video prompt to recreate it.
Wait a second. So if I see some amazing viral AI clip, I can just give it to Gemini, and it analyzes everything, the composition, camera angles, lighting, dialogue, and it just spits out the rest
That
of it.
gives you the full recipe. The real-world test from the source material was recreating this viral video of a woman and a dinosaur. The prompt it generated led to a near-perfect recreation in VO 3.1. You just really have to stop and think, whoa!
Wow.
Imagine scaling that. It turns every video you admire into a free masterclass in prompt engineering.
That is just a staggering capability for a free tool. Okay, so next on the list, GEMs. What exactly are these custom Gemini versions?
So GEMs are basically personalized, reusable AI assistants. They permanently remember a complex set of instructions. Think of them like a permanent system prompt you can create in about 2 minutes.
And the pro tip here is to let Gemini itself rewrite your simple instructions into that more comprehensive prompt structure, right?
Absolutely. You give it the basic idea and it'll flesh it out into a really detailed technical instruction set for itself. And the real power multiplier is when you add knowledge bases.
Knowledge bases. You mean I can upload my own stuff to teach the gem my specific style?
That's it. You upload 2 or 3 of your best performing scripts or maybe some reports, and you can train a script writing gem to write in your specific voice and style. It just eliminates all that repetitive setup time.
Okay, let's pivot to data analysis. We usually associate that with expensive, specialized software. What can Gemini do for just the average person with a spreadsheet?
Gemini is an incredibly powerful, no-code data analyst. You can upload a standard dataset, a CSV or an Excel file, and just make a request in natural language. No more pivot tables.
So you could just ask it for, say, 5 clear visualizations that highlight interesting patterns. The focus is on the insight, not the chart itself.
Exactly. And you're not just getting a chart back that you have to figure out on your own. No, it generates scatter plots, bar charts, correlation matrices. And, this is the critical part, it provides a plain English explanation of why the data matters. It just lowers the barrier to exploring data so much.
And finally, we mentioned Nano Banana earlier, but how does that actually work inside the chat for editing images?
Yeah, Nano Banana is right there in the chat. The source used a screenshot from a movie and prompted, change this to sunrise. The result was instantaneous, and it looked totally realistic. It kept the composition, but perfectly adjusted all the lighting and shadows.
That's amazing.
And for really complex stuff, you can use a tool in labs called Flow, which combines Imagen for creation, Nano Banana for editing, and VO for animation, all in one workflow.
So, if a user is feeling totally overwhelmed by all these new tools, what's the one hidden superpower that's going to provide the biggest daily time-saving potential?
Oh, gems, hands down. They eliminate that repeated setup for personalized, repetitive workflows. Reducing that friction just makes all the difference. I mean, we've covered a really remarkable breadth of tools here, from the simple no-code apps in Canvas to these advanced specialized assistants with gems and even deep analysis of video and data.
Yeah, the core insight seems to be that Google's AI power is way more decentralized and, importantly, free than most of us realize. It's offering the power of a whole automation suite without the price tag. And these aren't just cool demos, they're genuinely production ready.
You got the roadmap now.
So we invite you to go experiment with one of these this week. Go create your first gem that's customized for your job. Or, run a simple data analysis on an old spreadsheet you've been ignoring. But remember, we only covered part one here. The
Okay.
source material hints at things coming down the line like Notebook LM's podcast mode and Gemini Live, which can actually see your screen and help you. So the question is, how much more essential knowledge is hidden in the everyday products you already use? And that's what we need to unpack next time.